in my classroom, it was before this Roe v. Wade leak by the Supreme Court. I tried this thing. I tried this idea of, hey, I want you to imagine in the next 5 minutes, I'm going to bring somebody in. It's a very liberal leaning school. And my job is just to make people think. One of the best compliments I get from my students is, I have no idea where you stand politically. And I said, I'm going to bring someone in 5 minutes who is pro-abortion. And what I want you to test with is, you don't have to agree or disagree with them. See if you can describe their perspective better than they described it after they tell their story and they leave.
That's a great, that is, I hope everybody listening rewinds that 5 times. I love it. Keep going. So I think that's a huge.
No, yeah. So like, I want that woman to, after when that woman to hear the conversation afterwards and say, oh, damn, I wish I described my story as well as you guys did. I really appreciate that happens there. And I said, any questions before we start? It got so heated that we couldn't even do the simulation.
God.
And it was, but there's actually a meta element. It's almost like a Christopher Nolan film, like Inception. There's like, the dream within a dream within a dream. So then we had an even better conversation about why didn't that work? And it was an amazing conversation. And people are saying, here's the stumbling block I couldn't get over. I can't handle the idea that someone would disagree with this issue. And I said, hey, when you graduate, so then we got to have a conversation. Let's play with this. When you graduate and you get a job, the dream job that you want to, what percentage of the people at that dream job do you think disagree with you on this topic, but you're never going to have that conversation? Yeah. Do you think it's 0? They said, oh, no, it's probably like 20%. Okay. Are you going to quit? Are you going to interact with them? And if they're helpful to you and they collaborate with you and you get along, and then you find out what's your attitude going to be? So we kept going down these conversations about the timing element of discovering that someone's going to have some belief that rubs friction with what you believe in. And if we can get past the initial a thumbs up or thumbs down to someone's belief and start playing with, again, go back to the jagged profile, that person that disagrees with you on this topic has a number of strengths and a number of skills and a number of historical background stories that are going to be so valuable to you. Damn on you if you can only constrain them down to this one thumbs down on this one topic, when it's going to be like a 700-page book just to describe their belief system.
Yeah.
And that's what we're doing now.
And it coincides with something that we see as the most impactful thing that we try to do at our workshop, which is, if you're role playing, you have to play the opposite role sometimes. And you have to, and what we say is don't cheese this, because that's like going in with a bad sparring partner when you're preparing for a title fight. I don't care what you believe in. You owe it to that person across from you who came to this workshop as well to get after it a little bit. And so you have to actually take a hard stance for something you might not even believe in. And that's the sad thing, right? When people can't just disconnect a little bit from their emotions, just to think about possible what if adjacent scenarios, because everybody thinks they know what they would do. And how many times do we have to relive these? And I don't care. We don't need to get into discussion about poor design and all that, but the Milgram experiments, the Stanford experiment. I mean, I love when people say, I'd never do that. Really? And you mentioned Christopher Nolan. I say this time and time again. That's why one of my favorite movies is The Dark Knight, because you grow up, Batman's the good guy. But in that movie, Heath Ledger's Joker makes a lot of sense. Batman's always got one rule, right? One rule. I'm not going to kill. I'm not going to do this. And Joker just keeps pushing him and pushing him. And how many people die, obviously, in this made-believe universe, just because Batman doesn't flex and he allows this person to go do what they want. And the Joker always just says, all it takes, madness is like gravity. It just takes a little push. And the whole point there, right, is he represents some form of chaos. And our full character is represented in how we deal with chaos. But if you stay in your safe space all the time, as you allude to, right, like if people stay in their safe space all the time, they're not going to evolve. They're not going to adapt. They're not going to be able to handle the adjacent possible. And at that point, good luck with life, because life is a big sense of improv. So I don't know. I mean, I love it about your work. I know it's confirmation bias, but I think at this point in time in society, it's hard not to get behind people that say, just think a little deeper, get out of your comfort zone, maybe embrace a little chaos. And guess what? You might realize that you didn't go there because you might find some things you didn't like about yourself, but those things are the things that can help you evolve and become something completely different, because there is that equifinality.